Hello.
Hey,
Hey, so we got Papa Joe Miller with us this weekend, or this weekend. Today. It's
today
not the weekend.
it feels like a weekend should be upon us. It's been a
Marty's
long week
jumping
for me.
in. We are up.
All right, so I'm all muted here. Okay. Um, all right, so why don't we start? Joe, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your running
Hey, well,
ultra world stuff?
um,
Marty!
There's
I've been.
Marty. Marty at 38%.
I made it to 42.
40.
All right. All right. All right,
How do
Joe's
you,
gonna
how,
introduce himself.
how do you like the Mount to Coast display back here?
Oh, look at that. That's nice. You got one or two too many shoes probably back there.
Oh, you can still see that other brand down at the bottom, honey.
So heck yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys. So yeah, I've been running, uh, I guess, consistently or whatever you want to call it. Kind of started my running about 5 years ago. Of course, uh, I came from a profession of arms, so I was in the military and in law enforcement. I retired as a police chief a couple of years ago, and always had to run. Hated running until I learned how to enjoy it, and that took me not having to have my job depend on it for me to do it. And and so yeah, I mean, I was always a back of the pack runner. All those real long legged guys that I had to run in formation with, I could never keep up with, and it just always sucked. And whenever I didn't have to do it for work anymore, I could slow down and run at a pace that I enjoyed, and so it made running a lot more interesting for me. Also, I come from a background of strength training. I've been lifting weights since I was about 13 years old, and been competitive in it since my 20s. I was an elite powerlifter for about a decade,
Oh,
and
wow.
and I had a couple American powerlifting records, and
Nice.
I was big into the weightlifting scene. Did some bodybuilding in my 20s. Didn't love it. I hated the diet. Uh,
Cutting is no fun.
no, but powerlifting kind of took to me because I could just pick up heavy things, put them down, and eat whatever the heck I wanted to. But not really. I mean, I did have to diet, and I had to stay in my weight class. But no, I did really good with that. Had some injury, couldn't keep doing it, and I've torn a pec since, and I've got some dysplasia in both of my hips, and I kept eating like a power lifter, and got really fat. I was I'm 5'6" and I was 340 pounds, and in 2020, and whenever I was the first person in my zip code to get COVID after the COVID outbreak, and I didn't recover really well, and found out that I had diabetes, and my A1C was like 12.6. My blood sugar when I went to the ER was like 500. Um, and I had a whole bunch of other problems with my labs. I'm like, I need to get my weight under control. So I started walking and hiking, and then that kind of rolled into doing some running. I found a local running club and ran with that local running club, and that really helped me. Being around other runners really helped me learn how to train to run. In the military, they never teach you how to train to run. They just you go do it, and that was it. And so, and there was a pack of young or a couple people in our club that every time we'd meet together, we would all go off on the paved bike path, and they would all go off into it, the trails. And of course, being a country boy and raised up in the woods, spent all my time in the woods and being a backpacker and hiker. I found out about trail running through them and thought that that's what I wanted to do. So I started hanging out and running with some trail runners, and I've been hooked on trail running ever since. Um, but when I retired from law enforcement, I was very socially isolated because I was a police chief and didn't have a lot of new friends. And when I retired from that, I was like, you know what, I want to meet some people and kind of get out of my shell. And so I allowed that social aspect of my life to take off. And where I met most of those new friends was through running. And so I did have James Mathis. Some of our listeners might know him, but he's a local legend down here in the Ocala area and shows up to a lot of races in Florida. And so he kind of started telling me about some of the trail community and about the races and what they were like. And with his encouragement, I showed up to a Joe Fuller's Skunk Ape race and did the night run and loved it. And ever since, I've been finding ways to get involved in the trail and running community. Again, I'm not ever going to be making anyone compete with me. So, I go out and do what I do. But, I'm a huge proponent for people giving back to the community because, it's the same thing with when I was in weightlifting and powerlifting and all that, very niche sports and like trail running, ultra running. These things don't happen without volunteers, without people putting on races. People need to be involved. So I think that's probably where people started to get to know me. As I would show up to races, I was pretty social. I'd talk to everyone and started volunteering at things. And so getting to know some people. And then I found out about race directing. So I was putting on a couple of, group runs, and I was organizing some like group runs and stuff in the Ocala area where we live, and hosting like a Monday night track group and assigning people workouts to do. And again, I have a strength coach background too. I was also a strength coach, and so I mean, coaching is coaching. I've never been a certified running coach, but I read a lot, watch a lot of YouTube videos, study everything. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to learning everything I can about whatever I'm interested in, and was able to help some local friends, run their first 5Ks, run their first half marathons, run their first marathons, put together plans for people to do their first 50Ks. So some of the people that I was helping exceeded me. There's several out there that are running now. They're much better runners than I am. But through that, organizing that, I found out about race directing and decided it was something I thought I'd want to do. I will be really getting close to actually retiring soon. And so I thought, I started talking to other race directors to find out what they were doing and watching what they were doing, and decided to do that myself. Myself and my friends, Shay Merritt and Kevin Caudill, last year started a podcast, and we'd been talking about individually, myself and Shay had both talked about putting a podcast together on our own. And Shay was more of a technical person, I was. And so when she asked me if I would join her for a podcast and we just do it together, we had really good dynamics. And she was one of those people that probably the major person that took me out to trail and ultra running. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And so a year ago, we came up with Where's the Finish podcast. And we really, one of the reasons why we did that was to try to have some fun, but also introduce people to what we like to do, trail and ultra running. So we developed that podcast not to be a podcast. Our goal is not to interview the elite athletes. It's not to go out. I mean, there's some fantastic athletes out there that you may find that same name on 20 podcasts that year or more. They're all over the place. We wanted to talk to local people. We wanted to talk to people we knew, our friends, people that we could have a little bit of dynamic with and have some fun with, tell some dirty jokes, and just kind of
Come on, Joe.
and just have a good time. And it was real well taken. And we wanted people to find out about what we were doing. And that's also why we started last fall. We started WTF events under the same umbrella as Where's the Finish podcast. And so we could start hosting some races. And so Shay had already had a race that she put together. And we actually had this year for the third time. And you guys have talked about it already on this show. But we had the Painted Horse Urban Ultra. And I had last year put on a fat ass run out in the Ocala National Forest called the Two Prairies. So we brought both of those races underneath the umbrella of WTF events. And plus we created a 5K that we had in November called the Landbridge 5K. We knew there's not a lot of shorter races, so we wanted to have shorter distances available to people so that they could enter into the sport. Most people aren't going to enter into the sport running a 50K. I mean, there are definitely a bunch of us out there that just jump straight in, but we thought people needed to be introduced to trails in a more gentle, friendly kind of environment. So we're looking at holding some shorter distance races. And then also under that whole thing, Shay came up with the Swan Song, which is another urban ultra. The Swan Song, the Painted Horse are both races that run around cities. One's in Ocala and one's in Lakeland, just looking at painted animals. It's kind of, just like a
Scavenger hunt
scavenger hunt.
slash race.
Yeah. So we've been having a lot of fun. We got some other races that we're planning. Mostly, I've got a lot of races I'm planning. I just had. Well, I guess we'll talk about it here in a minute. I just had the second year of the Two Prairies Ultra last weekend. I just got the permitting and everything approved. We're going to host that Landbridge 5K again November 15th this year. Just posted it out there that for a new race called the Big Scrub 150. That was my gift, I guess you would say, to the Florida niche community. I'm gonna call it niche because the Across Florida 200, I got really involved with that one and created a group with James called the Marion County Sherpas for the Across Florida 200. And that race goes, right through my backyard. I can get to probably 70% of the course within about 45 minutes of my house, and really met a lot of great people in the ultra community through that, because people that are doing that on the most part are pretty experienced runners. And so I've been able to support that race, that virtual race, but then it's being retired as a virtual race, and it's going to be a supported race in November. And I felt like it was leaving this void empty, where a lot of people were really excited about wanting to do the Across Florida virtual, and it wasn't going to be an option for them anymore. So in January of 26, we're starting the Big Scrub 150, and it's an invitation only race. And the reason why it's invitation only is I'm trying to build a community around the race, very similar to what we did with the Across Florida. What made the Across Florida, I think, very marketable as a virtual race over the last 2 years and the way it has grown is that it's kind of developed a community of runners around it, where everyone that's running the race is being supported by people that have either been a part of that race or have ran it themselves. So pacers that are coming out to help people in the Across Florida, people that have ran it or are intending to run it and want to learn a little bit more about the course. And so I've seen that kind of a real tight little community come up around that. So I'm trying to do the same thing with the Big Scrub, and how I'm going to plan to achieve that is to, in order to be invited to run this race, you're going to have to proven that you have supported another runner in this race, either by crewing them or pacing them or providing logistical support during the race.
I'm in. I qualify.
It's it's a really small group right now because no one's done the race. So I am inviting anyone that has participated in the Across Florida 200 virtual. It'll be like they'll automatically get an invitation to participate in this one. And then as that group of people has, kind of filtered into the race and done it, I've already have about a half a dozen people said they want to do it next year. We may look at coordinating with other multi-day races, other race directors to allow people that participate in their races to come into it too. But so that's kind of my plans for that one. I've got other races that I'm working on, doing some research, talking to government entities about permitting and all the things we need to do, all the good stuff that you need to do first. I've seen that, again, some of the mistakes that I've seen race directors make by being an observant person is, not securing permits when they needed permits before they threw a race, or had all of the logistical things figured out, having the permissions to do what you need to do. A big one for me is, as I talked about this race we had this last weekend, is ice and water. You know, we're
Yeah,
Florida.
tell us about Two Prairies. How'd that go?
Yeah, it was wonderful. You know, it's the thing is, it's funny. The Two Prairies is a 50K race and a 30K race. So it's in the Ocala National Forest. It starts at Pat's Island, and which is a remote area on the edge of the Juniper Wilderness, and it runs for 9 miles south, hits an aid station, and then runs 9 miles back for a 30K loop. When they get back to the aid station, the start finish, then the 50K runners will go out to the north for 7 miles, turn around and come back and get a total 50K distance. Um, and it's a really, one of the reasons I wanted to have this race is because it's just absolutely beautiful out there. And you know, it's very remote. It's one of the few wilderness areas in Florida. Special rules apply when you're doing stuff in a wilderness area. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. And also, I wanted to have a race that was available to people as an entry level race where they didn't, you know, some people won't go to races because of the expense, and races have gotten really expensive for people, and especially have to travel and things like that. So I did make it a fat ass, but it's not a fat ass in the fact that it's completely unsupported. This race has 3 fully staffed aid stations. We had electrolytes donated. We had plenty of water. We had ice. I mean, as I was getting ready to say before I started talking about it, you know, so one of the things I think I see at races in Florida is sometimes race directors not having ice and water by the time certain people get there. Uh, Ice is cheap. You know, I spent, you know, like $30 to buy 250 pounds of bags of ice, and you know, I'll throw it out if I don't use it. But you know, and it was good to have all that ice and water out there because we needed it this weekend. Um, Saturday was predicted to be, and I believe it was, the hottest day that we'd had of the year so far. So I think it reached about 90 degrees. And we did have about a half a dozen people and some very experienced runners after they got that first 30K done. They knew I would allow them to drop. They're like, that's it. I can't go back out for 50K. We had a couple people that were nearly on heat exhaustion. Matter of fact, our DFL for the 50K had to sit down and get hydrated and cool down. And I wasn't sure if he was going to go back out, but he went back out and got it done. He came in last, but he was definitely not last in my book. I mean, the guy just really killed it out there. So, I mean, this is the second year for the race. We had a pretty good turnout last year. People were really excited about it last year. So I saw it grow this year. I think it'll grow a little bit more next year. I am limited on how many people I can have out there for 2 reasons. Parking is limited. Parking is along a dirt road. There's a picture, Jeff's showing some of the pictures. You can kind of see where the dirt road is coming up. People just parallel park kind of alongside the road going in. You know, there's not like a great big giant trailhead there or any fields or anything. The other thing is permitting. The Forest Service hasn't approved recreational permits for over 2 years. So in order to have an event out there, you have to have less than 75 people involved in it. So I think this is we'll keep it like in the format it is. And again, it makes it available for other people to come out and run it and not have to spend a bunch of money and see some really pretty scenery. So I really am happy with it. One of the cool things that I think just kind of naturally occurred in this race, our friend Tyler Smith, and I think he's been on the live stream at least once.
Yeah, he's in the chat right now from
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
So I'm gonna give Tyler a shout out. You know, I'd never heard this before, but he said he might have heard it somewhere else. But one thing that this race really I think is going to be known for is what he calls the hang. You know, last year and this year, after everyone got through running, because it is a smaller race, everyone just kind of gathered around at the end, and we drank some cold beer, had some drinks and some food, just sat around for hours and just kind of, had a great time hanging out and BSing and talking about life and trail running. And I feel like there was some people there. We had one young lady that came from Colorado to come run, and got to meet some of our Florida runners. And so I think the hang really was one of the really cool things about this race. Although the race itself, I think, is probably, in my opinion, goes through the prettiest trails in Florida. I might have a little trail bias, but come out and look at it. And I think if you don't think it's the prettiest trails, you're going to say it's some of the prettiest trails you've ever been on, I'm sure. But aside from that, it's just it naturally has developed a really cool kind of hanging out type of environment around the race. So it's very chill. I don't have any cutoffs on the race, so I'll stay out there until you're done, and it doesn't cost you anything to sign up. So I think that definitely is an appeal to some people. I mean, I don't mind signing up for a free race. I mean, one of the best races in Florida I've ever been to was the PTC, and that's a free race. I think it's really cool when we can do that, because I kind of see this race and PTC as like a gift to runners from runners, because it's not free to put on, of course it's it's free to you to run, but it costs money to put these things on regardless of how you look at it. So I did have some wonderful donations from some of the people that ran. A few people, at least one person donated that didn't run, just wanted to support the race. So it made it a lot easier on me financially. And so, just trust me, this race happened because people wanted other people to have the opportunity to do it. That's the only reason this race exists. So really
So
cool.
Looked like Arian got his first win.
Heck yeah. So Arian, man, I tell you, he really did. He came out there and pushed it hard. I mean, of course, Arian's been out every weekend, I think, running something. He's just tearing up the trails over this last year. And he knew that John Boffman had the course record from last year. And he ended up beating that record by, I think, about 10 minutes over last year. So yeah, it was what did let me pull up here to look at.
5:21:19.
Yeah, so yeah, 5:29:19, and John's course record last year was 5:32:34.
Yeah.
And John, he's a really amazing human too. And what I think is interesting about John is he runs barefoot. He comes out there in his sandals and he just tears up the trail. Yeah, we definitely had some strong runners out there. We had some that I thought were going to show but weren't able to come. But I mean, if you look at the top runners of this race, I mean, there's not any slackers in there. I mean,
Craig in there, Jordan, Tyler.
Yeah. So
John's in there. Then on the female side, I don't know if I know Amanda.
Yeah. So Amanda is she is great. Funny story about Amanda. I met her after the Keys 100. I was out crewing and pacing my buddy Peter, and he owns the local Running Elements shoe store here in Ocala. And we were I was out in Gainesville running on the trail. And I was just out getting a fun run in, and this cute little lady just comes running up behind me. She's like, hey, I got to stop you. I said, I'm sorry, you don't know me. And then she went on to introduce herself and said that she had seen my picture, and this, her brother-in-law owns the Running Elements in Daytona. And he had been out there with me crewing Peter. So, and she's just a fantastic runner. She completed long haul this year. And after DNFing last year, she had a real rough year last year. And she also
we all did.
Yeah, she was the last woman to drop from Vera Octopus this year, this last race, last July. So she's going back out to tackle it again this year. I think she dropped at mile 91. I think she was the last one to drop. So I mean, she's a tough gal, and I seen a picture of her feet after the race. She had a blister on her heel. She had posted it, I think, to maybe the Florida
Yeah, I
Ultra
saw it.
group. Yeah, and I told her the best thing to do for that was to prevent getting it in the first place.
And second place female, Katie Jenkins, she's in the chat. She's been in the chat every week.
Yeah.
You know,
what?
tearing it up too. Katie's supposedly racing next weekend too
She
at
is.
Hungerland. So
Yeah,
she's the
Yep.
Luke Vidal and Arian Roshan of females.
Yeah. I hate to
First,
tell any of their
first hundo
stories.
for Katie.
I hate to tell
Oh,
any of their stories
Is
for
that her
them.
first 100? Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I hate to tell you their stories for them, but I know Katie said that, that she just had that race last weekend, and she comes and does my race, and she said that it was a challenge for her to go out there and keep pushing it, but she did, and I tell you what, and she had a really good run at Two Prairies too. So I'm looking forward to see what she does at Hungryland this year.
Well, and then after volunteering after running, she came and volunteered Sunday at Picnic Island. So
yeah, she
that
sure
was
did.
good of her. We appreciated her.
Yeah, it's really exciting for me too, because I get to interact with people through our podcast, but also through all the volunteering and putting on races, and it's just really cool to see new people entering into the sport and then doing so well. I mean, like, I look at the list of people on here that not been running a real long time, but they're just doing, like Arian. He's been like a year. Katie, she's been at it a little short period of time too. Tyler Smith has been at it a short period of time.
Yeah.
Jordan England's not really been doing it for a long time either. These people come on, and next thing you know, every weekend they're running really hard races and just doing it really good. And I think one of the things that makes the Florida ultra running community unique is the support and the community around it. I thought everyone was like it is in Florida until I went other places and realized it's not like that everywhere. And I think it's a good place for people to grow up in ultra because you have so much support around you and people that want to help you do it. So, and no one's giving anyone a hard time because they didn't do well either, so.
And then you look on the then you look at the 30K and the females kicked ass in that race. Look at that.
Yeah, they did. That was fun. My friend Carla came out to do that one and won it this year, and she's intimidated a little bit by being out there on a trail by herself and stuff, and for a little while I don't think she was wanting to do ultras. She was a marathon runner, but then she just kind of got sucked right in with the rest of us, and so she's definitely looking at doing the 50K next year. She told me, and she's won or placed really well in several trail races in the race. I mean, I think she was maybe second or third place at one of the Skunk Ape races this year, and so she's doing really well. And Loveland, she's just Loveland's a lovely person.
You couldn't resist that one.
Yeah, she just, I mean, and she promotes everything, for us. I mean, like we're having a preview run for the Skunk Ape 100 this weekend. I'm hosting it out at Ross Prairie, so we're going to take people out and let them run the Berm 2.0, which is, if no one's not familiar with the concept, Joe Fuller, the race director for Skunk Ape Events, has in his races, he's got out in the Green Swamp, he has the berm, and it's just a fire break loop, 3-mile loop that goes through his course out there. When him and I were looking at developing the Skunk Ape 100 race, where we're looking at maps and looking at where we wanted to put the course and everything, we needed a few extra miles. So we left off the Greenway and took the course out into Ross Prairie and added a 6K or 10K 6-mile loop. And so this weekend we had people love to hate it. It was the enemy of the race last year. So I figured anyone that wants to find out what the hype is all about, and people come out and see us this weekend. We're going to meet at 8 o'clock in the morning at Ross Prairie, and we're going to have some pancake breakfast and some other snacks and goodies out there. It's my birthday, and it's Jeff's birthday coming up. Right?
Yep.
So
I think mine's
Happy
tomorrow
birthday,
and
both
yours
of you.
is Sunday.
Yeah, mine's Sunday.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just sell it. I'll be turning 50 this year, so bring the black balloons out. I feel like I'm getting old.
It's the new
Someone in the
age group.
chat said you're 5 years away from moving to the villages.
Listen, I think if my wife might be a year too older than me, and I think if she can get to 55 before I do, I think I could just move in with her.
That's when the real party starts.
All right. Well, wrap it up. Two prairies. Congrats to Nicole. She was out there in the 30K. She's in the chat right now. Congrats to her.
Yeah.
She's getting ready to pack up. I guess they're going down to Hungerland this weekend. So
Yeah, that was fun. She is always the crew, never the runner. And it was so fun to watch her and Lucas interact as he was crewing her. It was so interesting to have Luke Vidal not to be at a race and not be racing. So yeah, and again, there's so many of these people had a great time. Mike Martinez from Sombrero Racing came out. He did fantastic, and this was his return back to running too. So he hadn't been on trails and hadn't had any long runs. Longest run he's had in a couple of years. He had some surgeries and chose this one to come back to it. So it was really cool. I felt honored to have all these people out there, and listen, I'm really looking forward to doing it again next year. So I actually just set up the race in Ultra Sign Up. This one in Big Scrub registration won't open until December 1st, but I will have it again next year. It is on Ultra Sign Up with the date, so if you want to bookmark it, and remember to come out. And then also we'll be opening up registration June 1st for our 5K trail race at the Land Bridge. So
cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
How about Picnic Island?
How about Picnic Island? That was fun. So that was down in Jupiter. That was on Sunday. So it was a Sunday race hosted by Mike Melton. It's the first time I've actually done one of his races without him just being the timer. So that was fun. Katie was out there volunteering all day long. So that was great. We had the what was it? Half marathon, 6 hour, and 10 hour.
Oh, I didn't know they had the the results just showed up 6 hours and 10 hours.
Yeah, and then there was a half marathon as well. Half marathon, if you're not seeing that, Dan Hilliard from Palm Beach Gardens, hour 38 minutes, and female Amy Anderson from the UK, 141. So
Those are
good
that's
times.
half marathons.
Yeah, those are the half marathons.
Those are impressive times.
Yeah, really good times. Yeah, they passed me. It was because they started an hour after I think the 6 and the 10 both started at the same time. Yeah. And then the half marathoners started an hour later, and they just they just but it was nice. It was hot. It was not as hot down there, funnily, as it was up north.
Yeah.
Where you were, but and then it was really windy. It was like 20-30 mile an hour winds, but there's a lot of trees, so you didn't really feel it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. All pretty much all gravel, a little hillier than I was expecting. So
Oh, really? A little bit.
yeah, it was a 3.3 mile loop. So you go around. And it seemed, I mean, it was all undulating for the most part, but the first mile you kind of dropped. And then the 2 miles, you just felt like you were constantly going up and up.
Yeah.
And it was low grade, it's like 2% or whatever. But it was just constant. And yeah, 6 hour, Lisa Eidelman, 32.4 miles.
Yeah.
Sandy V got second place.
Yeah. 32. She got the 50K.
Yep. And she signed up last minute. Just in there. And then for the men, Marlon Weekly from Illinois and another from the UK. I wonder if they're.
You see how old he is?
No, I don't.
70 plus.
73. Wow. Good for him. Yeah, and it was hard. The thing that we were really spread out, so I didn't see a lot of the runners. There was a lot of guests at the island.
Yeah.
You go or in the park, you run along the river a lot, and we saw everybody like kayaking in their canoes and paddleboards, and I'm like, yeah, they're having way more fun than we are. But but yeah, I there was a 70-plus-year-old in the another 73-year-old, the 10 hour. He was DFL, or however you want to call it that. But I met up with him at the end. He had some good stories. He's done like 500 marathons, and he just continues. He does these timed races because it's the only way he can still get marathons in.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I told him to sign up for ARFTA because he doesn't have a buckle. So a race for the ages, he would get 73 hours.
Tell
So
him there's a 60-hour race that he can pay $2,000 for to get a 100-mile belt buckle for.
yeah, no, I think you can do a race for the ages for like $200 or something. But 10 hour, Todd McCauley from Schenectady, New York,
47 miles.
47.4. And then Casey Line, female from Orlando. I met up with her, did about half a lap with her.
She kept it close.
Yeah. Casey and Carrie were, I mean, they were good. They're both really good power walkers too. And that's
what did Mike have for timing mats out there?
No mats. It just had the one.
Oh, he just had the one?
loop.
Okay.
There might have been one other.
Oh, okay.
Gosh, I can't even remember. There wasn't a half.
There was a short loop. So
Yeah, that we didn't even go. Like I didn't even go on the short loop.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
was that for the end?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you weren't going to finish, I finished the big loop. I only had 10 minutes left, so I didn't even go out on the.
That makes sense,
short
Marty.
loop.
I'm like, I'm looking at the mileage. And I'm like, how is that there? So, I'm like, did Mike have like 5 timing mats out there?
No, there was a 0.84 loop. So yeah, if you got in the last hour of your race, if you didn't think you had time to finish the whole 3.3 miles, you could go out on the short loop.
Oh, cool. Cool. That
which
makes
I
sense
heard
now.
was completely flat. But my last loop was quite slow because I was taking videos of deer and
I asked her to send me pictures, and it was all of animals. I'm like, I said, no animals. I need runners.
I had one picture. I have a picture of me and Mike and a picture of me and Katie, and that was it. It was a lot of deer. I saw some raccoons, saw a bunch of squirrels, saw a bunch of snakes. But yeah, it was. I mean, it was fun. It was I didn't do what I'd planned on doing, but that was my fault. So I'll just sign up for another track race and do what I want to do. But no, so it was good. Yeah. Aid station was great. He had everything there. They were cooking all day. Ice, water, dirty ice, clean ice. Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right. Now we got happening currently right now, Southern States going on in Marty. Where Southern States at?
It started in Dalton, Georgia, and it goes all the way over into Alabama, Mount Cheaha.
Mount Cheaha. Yep, that's right on the Pinhoti course. I think that's 50 miles on the right around 40 to 50 on the Pinhoti course. You got to climb that up. So right now the leader is at 132 miles. That's our buddy James Ebert. He was James second or third at long haul?
I think he was second.
Yeah. So he has almost a 20-mile lead over Corey Waltering. If you don't know who Corey is, he runs in a Speedo. I don't know if he's running it. He used to run in a Speedo. I don't know if he's still out there. But Corey actually, didn't he set the record?
He had it. He doesn't have it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
he
it's
had
on
the
those,
FKT on Pinhoti.
I think it's on those trails.
Yeah, he had the Pinhoti.
It was the Pinhoti.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And then you got on the female side, you have Amanda Lynch. She's at 113 miles. She's pretty much in line with Corey. Marty, who is the runner you were
Amber Orman.
Let's see.
She's about 83 miles in.
Yep, she's 83.8 miles. So hopefully you get better. You can get out there.
Yep. I'm hoping to be there.
So you said run the last 50K. Does she have like a plan Does she have
Yeah.
her
Yeah,
her
she's got a
sleep and her
very,
run
very
schedule?
detailed plan. She sent me a text with her plan, and she stuck to it last night, the first day. You know how plans are when you get punched in the mouth by a technical trail with mountains. And she's from Orlando, but she's a strong mountain climber because she's got a vacation home in Colorado. So she runs the mountains a good bit.
Yeah,
But
okay.
when I talked to her today, because I had to talk her through fixing a couple of blisters, and she said this is effing hard, and so and so she definitely has had some low spots already, but she's a tough cookie for sure. And
Basically, I forgot. Julian Long's in the chat, and he mentioned that James has the course record from last year. He won last year. This is the second year of the
yeah,
race, so
right.
Yeah.
that'll be fun. I wonder if he's watching his splits and chasing
Oh
his.
yeah, he's on. There's a Facebook page for the race, and there's talk that he's way ahead of his pace from last
And,
year.
and if you look at James Ebert, he doesn't look like a runner.
I had the opportunity to actually meet and run with James Ebert. The first time I met him, was he did the Across Florida 200.
Yep.
So I got to pace with him some and ran through the Juniper Prairie section, the piece that's on the two prairies, and got to meet him and talk to him, learn about him and his family. Met his brother Travis and his dad, and they were at Long Haul also, and he placed really well at Long Haul this year too.
Yeah, second.
So, he's he's a fantastic athlete, just super chilled, laid back guy. You wouldn't think that he was he just comes out strong. He doesn't sound like he's real competitive, but he goes out there, he kills it. I mean,
Yep.
Because he's
We
very humble guy. Very
yeah,
humble.
I forgot. We chatted before he went on the Cross Florida, and I broke down I think he went after me, and we chatted about it. And so I just went back and looked at our chat. I'm like, oh, I have his phone number. Should we call him?
Yeah, that
I'm
area
not
that
gonna
they're
do
in
that.
now, it's dead
Yeah.
zone.
Yeah. So nice job, James. We'll be watching that. Hopefully he keeps going. And I know, Joe, we talked about doing the preview run of your
Two prairies.
of the
I mean,
of
Big
Big
Scrub.
Scrub.
Big
And I was
Scrub.
thinking today, I'm like, you know who I would invite to come with me? James Ebert. That would be fun.
Yeah. Heck yeah. See, I fully expect that all you guys will come and run that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, I was thinking about his talking about telephone numbers. I probably have his dad's telephone number. So far, his dad goes to all these races and crews him.
Yeah. Yeah. I post on his Facebook crew if anybody on Facebook if anybody knew who was crew. I thought it'd be cool to get it live, but Marty was saying just the coverage out there is pretty bad.
Yeah, I've messaged my friends that are out there a few times and haven't gotten any responses.
Cool.
Well, after this, I might just have to call his dad and see if he's crewing and get an update and see how he's doing.
Yeah. I got to reach out to him. I'm going to talk about it later, but I'm planning on going out to Arkansas Traveler, and I know he ran a good time at Traveler, so I'll get intel from him. So I'll say it now. So anybody in Florida want to go up to Arkansas Traveler? There's still plenty of spots in October. Love to put the crew together to go up to Arkansas.
I'm sure our friend John Boffman will be up there with you. So
Yep. So definitely. All right, want to switch over to Barkley?
All right.
If you don't know, Barkley started and ended in the last couple of days. So I think Bobby Joe's the expert on the Barkley. If you want to take over from here.
The nerding out on Blue Sky, which is what I use for all the updates from Keith Dunn. So if you guys, I mean, I'm just gonna assume everybody's familiar with the race, but no finishers this year. We did have John Kelly finish the fun run, so that's 3 loops in under 40 hours, and he finished with in 39, 50, 27, and the way this course that they talked about this year, he's the only one that probably could have done it. John Kelly's the only one he's got 30 total loops, which I think that's tied with Jared Campbell for the most total loops at Barkley. But he's got 4 fun run finishes and 3 full finishes. So he is the GOAT of Barkley's. granted, he does live there as well. So he's that's his backyard. Not taking anything away from him, of course, but it's so hard because it just happened and it's so, shrouded in mystery and everything. And Laz doesn't want anything coming out during the race. We still don't have a full list of who was there. There's a small list. We know who wasn't there. Harvey Lewis has been there the last couple of years. And there was an Ohio runner, but he says it wasn't him, so it wasn't him. So after you're going into only 9 runners went into the second loop or finished loop 1 and couldn't go in the second loop. Aurelian Sanchez stopped. He had really bad cramps. He tried keeping up with the leaders with John Kelly and Sebastian and Tomo and just couldn't do it. So he stopped. I think by 24 hours we were down to like 6 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fewest total loops completed since like 2005, I think they said. I mean, it was just pure carnage. But last year when you had 5 finishers, nobody expected any different. One of the quotes was, the course is just about perfect. And everyone assumes John Kelly's the one that said that. So he would know. But yeah, I mean,
Usually it's the weather that knocks them out, but the
yeah,
weather was actually decent.
yeah, the first day was great. It had gotten a little chilly at night, but nothing they couldn't handle. But
Yeah.
then the storm came on the
Second night. So
Yeah.
that's what they were saying was Laz was screwing with them with the very late start, knowing that there would
the
be
weather was coming.
there would be a storm coming in at the 48-hour mark. So
Yeah, there was someone made a joke about something like Laz was like, I'll handle the course and then Mother Nature, you take it from here.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's usually the worst thing. But it sounded like they added a new 45-minute section that just
Yeah, one of the runners who hasn't been quoted yet, but like hasn't been revealed yet, but he said it was about 15% more length and 15% more elevation. I mean, some of the runners that came back were out there for 6 or 7 hours in the beginning and had only gone 5 miles, like circling around. They couldn't it seems like the books were in different areas. I think there was more, but there were 16 books this year. I think that's more than there was last year. Yeah, but it's hard because a lot more will come out. John Kelly usually writes a really good race report, and he hasn't done that yet.
There's a good if you go to YouTube, I don't know if you guys remember Tosh.0, Daniel Tosh.
Yeah, Daniel Tosh does a good interview with John Kelly, and it's really good for people who don't know anything about it.
So
it's
now
great.
he does a like a YouTube show, and when you watch it, you're like, is that Daniel Tosh? And then every once in a while, I'll say something like, yeah, that's him. But
I've been watching that since day one. I was
so he interviews John.
Yeah.
It's
I
pretty
watched
interesting.
all of his shows, but yeah, he had John Kelly. He gave Tosh one of his book pages. I was so jealous.
I heard Miles with Marty had a pretty good interview with him.
Miles and Marty does episode 35, I believe, or 34. It's episode 34 or 35.
We're gonna post that, Marty. Let's put it. Let me see if I can get the link for it, and we'll post it in the chat. So, Miles with Marty. What was that? How many years ago, Marty?
I don't know, man. I'd have to look it up.
It was I think it was episode 34. He only had 2 finishes at the time.
It was after, not the year before last. Yeah, when he got.
Okay.
I know one of the new things too. The runners get watches. You're not allowed GPS. You're not allowed your phone or anything. You get a regular like Casio or Timex watch. But this year they have to return them, so they weren't allowed to take them with us. So they all had to return them. So that was new. And there was, from what I hear, Laz was he hasn't been very happy with the media attention it's been getting. I don't know what he expects. But so everybody was pretty much gagged for the, and even Keith Dunn he uses all the in the updates uses all the nicknames, and it's kind of fun to try to figure out
Who's who?
who they are and everything. It's a lot of internet sleuthing, and
It was cool seeing Max King on the entry list.
yeah, it was
It
it,
seemed
it-
a lot less information coming out this year for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was by design.
Yeah.
Exactly. He was
I think I didn't even think we were in. I didn't even know about the race until Mike Melton posted the picture of Keith Dunn holding up the world. I'm like, yeah, it must be Barkley time.
Yeah, and I had heard before that all the campsites were booked, but
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It was just say, by the way, in case anyone's wondering, campsites are booked for the next like 4 days.
All right, cool deal. So wrapping up Barkley, I'm going to post a link to Marty's interview with John Kelly. We'll put it in the chat because I would love to go back and listen to that one. I think that would be pretty good. Also around the country, you had a couple big 50K type races. You had Chuckanut out in Washington. I don't know if you guys saw anything on this thing. They had cold weather and rain. Like people were going into hypothermia on the
Wow.
course. So a couple of the lead runners were almost came down with hypothermia.
That's a
But
50K.
yeah, for the 50K. Yeah,
Wow.
they were saying at one of the top of the climbs, it was close to snow coming across. I think one of the lead runners came up on Dylan Bowman, and Dylan had to give her his jacket just to get to the next aid station because she was basically turning colors. So on the female side, you had Jade Belsberg, she won it. Claire Rhodes was second. Sarah Carter was third. On the men's side, Chris Myers, 339. Carl Ugston from Canada, 349. And Andrew Ryla's
Rubber
Dam.
stamp.
Yeah. So
Yes.
those were impressive. That's the cool race. I'm still looking for a good race up in Washington State. I still want to lean towards Cascade Crest, but I would love to go up and do it. Well, I don't know if after hearing about the cold weather if I want to go do this one. That's a big no.
And they hold it in July, maybe. So.
Yeah, it's up in Fairhaven, Washington. That was the 31st running of that race. So that race has been around for a long time. Then you had 9 Trails 35-mile run out in Santa Barbara, California. So this is getting interesting. So Rod Farvard, he won the race, and he broke Jim Walmsley's course record by 4 minutes. So if you don't know who Rod Farvard is, he was the guy that went head to head with Jim at Western States all the way until, what was it, mile 80, 85. And so it's gearing up to be a great Western States because last week Jim Walmsley broke the course record at Mesquite Canyon 50K, and I think he broke his course record, but he broke the course record there, and then Rod goes and breaks Jim's record. But I think Jim's record was from 2019, and so that's great. It's gonna be fun.
Are they about the same age or?
I don't know. I don't know how old Rod is. Yeah, I mean they have to be around the same age. Early 30. Well, I don't even know how Jim is. Mid 30s. So that's cool. So that's gonna be fun. And then there's we'll talk about it in a little bit, but we got another big race coming up this weekend. 2 big races coming up this weekend with some big runners from Western states. So
Yeah, Jim's 35.
Yep. Then also up in Georgia, in your area, Marty, the Cove 50K. Have you ever heard of that in Chickamauga?
Yeah, that was this past weekend.
Yep.
Yeah. I had two friends run it. One of them, Bobby Joe, Rita. Well, both of them, Rita and Becca. Rita and Becca ran it.
Oh yeah, Becca shared a ton of photos. I should have had those. I should have stole those for sure.
Yeah, it looked like there was you actually run through some caves. I guess that's why they call it
Yeah.
the cove. Why don't they call it the cave?
Really?
Cove is prettier.
But yeah, it looked like a pretty cool race. It looked like it was fairly cold. They had a lot of clothes on.
They did.
I didn't see. We did. I think there was two Florida runners out of Tallahassee and Dade City. Romero Frankie out of Dade City. So he's a local guy to us, and Paul Nito out of Tallahassee. Where Paula, I'm sorry, Paula. She was there. But in that race, who won it? Mac Dean out of Chattanooga. Who was the runner? You guys?
Rita Coughlin
Let's see. I'll read that.
and Rebecca Dingus. Rita's
Rita's doing
Rita's
bootlegger.
yeah, she's doing bootlegger. She's a really, really strong runner.
Rita's doing bootlegger. Cool.
And I'm sure Becca and Dan will be there
Yeah.
volunteering or something. I
Yeah.
saw
Yeah,
them.
Becca's if
something
you're
like
if you're at a race and Becca's there and you're feeling down, she will get you on there and you will not stop. There's no DNF in, there's no quitting. She's she's like the pep talk genius.
Yeah, they're the kind of people they're kind of like a Joe Miller of South Side Atlanta. They I'm serious. They take people. Dan, he's this really humble guy, very strong, fairly strong runner, but
Right,
you would
pretty
never
fast.
know it because he don't never talk about himself. But they take people under their wing that are new and just kind of let them start running with them and take them to races. And next thing you know, like the one I remember is dang, I can't think of his last name, but it's Annie's friend, the lady who has done a bunch of hundreds, like all over the country, hard ones, like uh, what's that one out, Bighorn, and but
Yep.
anyway, his wife had done a bunch of hundreds, but he had never even done an ultra. So Dan was crewing him at Stinger year before last, and he ran all the way. He got 100K in, just from Dan. And
Oh
we
yeah, I
his
remember
feet, and
that.
I was putting China gel on his achy legs. And he made it though. He made it. He couldn't
Yep.
walk for
That
like
boy
2
wanted to
weeks.
quit so many times and they were not having it.
I
As
can't
long as
think of
nothing, as long as there's no bones sticking out, you are staying on that course.
Yeah.
J Mac. J Mac was what they called him. I can't think of his last name now though.
Greg Lawson said Rod is 29, so maybe just a little younger than Jim.
Evan.
All right, so now we got some big races coming up. Big one in Florida. You got Hungryland coming up. We got a lot of we got a lot of Florida runners going out there. Scott Hoover's going to be out there. Katie Jenkins, Matt Alberts. No, Mike
Mike
Albert.
Alberts.
Yeah. Mike posted something on Facebook today about falling off the bed. I'm like, oh man, Mike fell off his bed. He's not gonna be able to race. And he was talking about his camera. Who else is on there? Also in the chat right now, Nick Urena is on there. He's excited. He called me up. He's like, why aren't you guys down there doing the live stream? So we got I think Lucas Fidel's on there.
And we mentioned Katie's going to be there.
Yeah.
I was down there last year cooking, and that's where I saw the biggest alligator I've ever seen in my life.
Did you run? Did you run fast, far away? I know you don't like the critters.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else is so yeah, you got Emily Daycock.
Daycock, yeah. She's a good runner. As long, I know she was looking for help overnight if anybody's available.
John Parker, we talk about him everyone. He's a great runner.
And then we only have one person on the list that's not from Florida. So.
Oh yeah, who was it? You remember who that was?
Joshua Schmellenkamp.
John
No, we
Cougar's
got
brother.
another one. Marlon Weekly.
Oh, there's another one? Where'd he pop
70
up?
plus years old. Yeah.
Well, you remember I don't know if you remember last year,
Oh, yeah,
but
there he is.
there was a dude that came down from New York last year and ran it. I had him on the podcast right after. His name was Anthony Gadsey, and he was 21, and had to catch after he ran the race, and I think he might have got top 5. But anyway, I didn't, but about 10 people finished the 100, I think, males. But anyway, he had to catch a flight. He got an Uber to pick him up out there at the race. And, he was nasty, because you had to run through muddy water. And so he didn't have anywhere to change or anything. So he got picked up from the Uber and took him straight to the airport to catch his flight back to New York.
Right, got charged a cleaning fee.
Sounds like
Ain't
your
that-
story of taking what's his name to the airport, the
Yeah.
jester.
Right. Ed was just sweaty, stinky. This guy was muddy, stinky.
It's covered in swamp water.
All right. On the other side of the country, big Alta out in California. That's the second year of that race. That's I think it's free trail that puts it on. Dylan Bowman.
That one's
That
going to
should
have
be a
a
good race.
fast finish there.
What's that?
I said that one's going to have a fast finish. It's going to be
Yeah.
3s.
Because
Last
Bobby
year,
Joe,
this
who's in it?
race. David Roach.
David Roach.
David Roach or Eli Hemming.
Yep.
Or
Yeah.
in
My
it. They
high carb buddy.
Yep.
can-
Yep. So that's gonna be fun to watch. You probably got some other good names in there. But yeah, the two big ones you're looking at is David Roach and Eli Hemming.
And this race was it was in February last year. It was
Was
like
it?
a month earlier. Yeah, it was February 24th last year.
Yeah, Elliot Cardin. Few other people on there. So
so
that should
this
be that. I think that race is gonna grow. I think it's gonna get bigger and bigger every year. I think it has that vibe. Well, especially with Dylan Bowman behind it. I think it'll be a big race. And then across the pond over in Italy, you got Chianti, a UTMB race. Jim Walmsley's running the 100-mile. I believe that's a golden ticket race. And then you also we're waiting to find out if Killian Jornet is running it. He had a baby last week, or this week, I don't know. And so
Recently.
we're waiting to find out if he will be running that race. And the other question I have, and this guy shows up on two different races from America, one of your favorite runners, Bobby Joe. Ryan Montgomery. He shows up
Ooh.
in the 100-mile and the 100K. So I don't know which one he's running.
Maybe they let you run. Maybe it was I registered for, but we'll see which one I feel like that day.
Yeah. So it'll be
I
interesting.
haven't checked his.
It'll be
Let me
interesting to
see
see
if he
which
says
one.
anything.
It'll be interesting to see if Killian actually gets out there and runs. Rumor has it if he doesn't run this race, he's going to come over and run the canyons. I think he's trying to get in the Western states, which will be cool because it's the 15th anniversary of the most famous running film. Can anybody name it?
Unbreakable?
Yes. I was gonna say Unbreakable. Unbreakable. Yeah. So
What is
Unbreakable
the
came out.
You said the
15
greatest
years.
running film? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the greatest running film.
I was guessing. It's not
Yeah.
my favorite. It's not my favorite, but it is.
I don't think
That's
it's
the
the
one
greatest.
everybody says. It is.
Yeah.
It's like the Rocky of.
Yeah.
It's
It's
definitely a
good.
great movie.
It is.
Great movie.
Is it the greatest? No, but I think it's a good. I think it's a
But
good.
yeah, it's
But
like if it was the Oscars, it would win the Oscar.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So they're saying a movie that's supposed to be comparable to it just had the premiere. Was it tonight they were doing the premiere?
The Chase, you mean?
Yeah, The Chase.
Oh, that's not in the same league as Unbreakable, man.
Well,
Come on.
Well, we haven't seen it yet, so how do we know?
Yeah. So if you listen to interviews with Dylan Harris, that's what they were trying to that was their goal was to yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be
I talked to Chris Thornley with Squirrels Nut Butter the
yeah.
other day on the phone. He's seen it already, and he told me it was spectacular.
Oh, okay, the chase. I'm curious
Yeah.
how we can do a viewing. Like, I don't know when they're going to release it to everybody else, but I would love to do
That would be
a
fun.
viewing
And
somewhere.
my
Maybe we need to
favorite
contact a
favorite
theater and see if we can rent one and then sell registration to it.
That would be fun. Yeah.
I
Uh,
like Where Dreams Go to Die. That's my favorite running film.
yeah, yeah. Tomorrow is if you're from the 80s, tomorrow is Rad Day. March 21st is they celebrate it as Rad Day. Joe Miller, you know what that movie is, right?
Yeah, I'm ready to get my BMX out right now.
I did
Y'all
go see it
know.
in the theater a few years ago. Great, great movies.
I was one heck of a trick rider back in the 80s. Just saying, I can do it.
All right, so we talked about that. Also coming up, if you're looking for a short race, you got the Withlacoochee River Run put on by A1 Ultras, Amy and Amy Matthews. So that's
I did that last year. They usually have really pretty medals or awards.
Yes.
So
That's
I know a
in,
guy. I know a
March.
guy with a discount code.
Yeah. Oh, do you?
So y'all know that race is at the new location this year. So it's at 2 Mile Prairie, which is where he held the Colt 45 this year because he had to move it for flooding.
Yeah.
But it's such a wonderful place to hold a race, and it's just on the outskirts of Ocala. Andy did tell me that there was a nice, clean, pristine trail for us at Colt 45. The horses have been on it this year, so it's not as it's going to be a little more difficult, I think, to run this year.
Cool. That's cool. I'm trying to make it up. Is it a day race or a night race?
It's a day race. It's a half marathon, full marathon, and I'll be out with John Boffman, crewing him on the Across Florida 200 that same weekend.
let's see.
Okay.
I can't remember. I did it. I don't know if I did the half or the 10K last year.
Yeah.
Um,
Of course, they got Joseph Fuller right dead center of their website. Yeah,
Now,
up in
hey,
Hernando, Florida.
JD is doing his Cross Florida next week too, right?
He sure is. He started on the 24th.
Okay.
Is that JD McGee?
Yep.
Oh, I did not know that. So, all right. What else? Now, that's any other races I missed coming up or?
the Loopapalooza, I think, is coming up. That's going to be up north on Jacksonville. It's a sombrero race.
Is that this weekend?
It's 323 according to Ultra.
Yeah, it's
Running.
Sunday. Yeah, Sunday.
Ultra sign up is
I use
Sunday,
Ultra
March
Running
20
magazine.
Sunday, March 23rd.
Yeah, so that's a 6 hour and a 12 hour. And then I didn't look up this one, but I don't know where Estero, Florida is, but there's a Diamondback 8 hour.
That's south of Fort Myers.
Okay, so there's an 8 hour there. So
Okay. That's a different time. Yeah, I think Loopapalooza has a 12 hour, 6 hour, 3 hour, 14K. What is the Russ? I don't know what the Russ is. 14K, the Russ 3 hour, the Russ 6 hour, the Russ 12 hour. I guess I could read it.
so
Two things that we didn't talk about that we got to cover. Well, one is going back to Southern States for a second. Our old friend Andy Matthews is volunteering up there. He's captain of an aid station at the halfway point.
all right, go
I
Andy.
don't know if y'all knew that.
Oh yeah. I saw that. He put that on James Ebert's site, so he probably seen them already go through. I wish we could have reached out to Andy.
We could have called him. I didn't even think about it.
I did.
And then the other thing, there was
Is it
another
too late?
race.
Is it too late?
There was another race that was last weekend that we didn't talk about. The Everglades race.
Oh,
called the
that's right.
Glades Runner. I know I saw one of my friends. I think his name is let's see, what is his name?
No, it looked really nice.
Yeah, it looked like it was not really. It was like a rail to trail type trail. You know,
Yeah.
it was like a paved trail. But
was it a Bob Becker race or he was just there? Because I saw pictures with him.
I think it used to be. He used to have a race called
You
the Glade
said that it was
50.
like the Glades 50 or something like that.
But I kind of thought they were connected because Mark Kudak shared it several times, like, they were over it, but he never said that outright. So I don't know if they were just kind
Well,
of
it says it's put
supporting
on
the new RD.
the Mikosuke tribe. Sorry for the pronunciation.
Dave Goldstein is the guy that I know that ran it.
Let's see. Do we
So I
have
think it was 100K maybe or 50 mile.
50K, 50 mile? With the results, let's find out here. All right, so we've got 50 mile Blaine Reeves first place, age 60, 927. Manny Garcia second, 1142. First female Jamie DePaula, 1222.
She's a South Florida badass. She's
Yes, he did.
strong
So
rider.
there's 10 finishers in the 50 mile. 50K, 13 finishers. Fernando Holtz from Miami Beach, first place. First place female, Maria Willerer from Lake Worth. And then, then there were a few different smaller races as well. So, so overall it seemed like there was, probably 50 people or so there, but the pictures look nice.
Katie mentioned in the chat that Michael Straczynski just started his Lollipop 240 FKT attempt.
I think I just saw on his post that he got hurt.
Yeah,
Twisted his ankle about 15 miles in, something like that.
Oh,
Has already
yeah,
stopped.
So is he going to
Yeah,
finish it
turn
and not go for the FKT, or he can't? He's got to stop.
Sounds like he's already stopped.
Yeah, he
Okay.
turned around.
Oh, that's too bad.
that's a bummer. So
Yeah,
All right,
the guy Blaine Reeves that she talked about, that guy is he's done a lot in the ultra world. He's at Badwater, and he was crewing somebody at Long Haul this year. You would know him if you saw his picture. He's a jacked up guy, not quite as big as Joe, but a big dude. He's got big muscles.
Like these?
Exactly. He can
I'm
do.
glad,
He can probably do a
Bobby
chin
Joe,
up
we
or
were
two.
all watching you, seeing if you're gonna fall, testing out your pull-up bar.
I was waiting to fall off that thing. I still don't trust it. Everyone says it's okay. I still don't trust it, but we'll
Hey, I
find
started
out.
to tell you I would sell you mine for $5 that I bought for 20 like 5 years ago and still don't use.
Well, I
think
figured
my
if I
weight-
leave it hanging, then every time you walk by, you just
I
get
feel like
on
my
there for a
weight would
minute.
just pull the door frame right out
Right. That's me.
It says it holds like 300 pounds, so I'm not quite there yet.
The
but
bar-
it should be
termites.
okay.
The bar will hold 300 pounds, but will the door frame?
Yeah, it's a door.
It will hold you, Bobby. I guarantee it will hold you.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll track my progress.
Start off with the babies and hang them up there and see if you hear any creaking sounds.
Just put some pillows on the. I don't have far to fall, so it's
Marty
all right.
says sacrifice the children first.
They
All
bounce.
right, couple
Children
wrap up
bounce when they
things.
fall.
I think we came up with a name for the Florida Slam. I think we came up. We want to
I
call it
think
the Florida Man Slam.
All right, who's going to sign up? Florida Man Slam.
We got to come up with
I think I'm in next year. I think Mark's in. We need a logo. So if anybody can make us a logo for the Florida Man Slam, we would
get
appreciate it.
Bree to make a special trophy.
Yeah, and we need to come up with something impressive. So I'll sponsor whoever finishes. We'll put out the trophy. So
You're
anybody,
sponsoring the registrations?
what's that?
Are you sponsoring the registrations too?
Well, I think you could do like the Grand Slam has a ultra sign up, and you can do it for free. So
Well, maybe we have to talk to Bob and Lewis before we.
yeah, we still need to talk to those two. I know Lewis is on board because it's going to draw more people to his races. Well, hopefully. So
I mean, it's cool. There's only 2 race directors we'd have to talk to, so
Yeah.
so that's nice.
yeah, and if they say no, we're going to do it anyways.
With Twan is a partner on the Space Pirate.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So and Mark has a good connection with them, so we're good. We're good there.
Right.
The other thing, Chris Stengel mentioned last week, the Gaither Track Club's trying to raise money for
Hurdles.
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 So they've raised $1,600. I think they got and they're trying to raise 8. So
They're over 6,000 now.
are they? Oh, they must have not updated then.
Yeah, I just
Or
saw
maybe
it
I
today.
have last week's number. So they're in the show's notes that has a link. You can go to Gaither. You can click on that, help them get some stuff out there. What else do we have? I'm gonna load up this. Marty, what do you have coming up on with your with Miles with Marty?
I got Davy Crockett should be coming out tomorrow at some point, and then I've got two good ones interviewing next week. Simone Valentin, you know who that is?
Mm-mm.
She just ran the coldest race on Earth a couple weeks ago in Arctic, whatever, somewhere in Arctic
The
tundra.
Arctic or Antarctic? Oh, the Arctic. So up north.
I forgot the name of it, but anyway, she's from Florida. I think she's from Brazil originally, but she lives in Florida. And then the one I'm really excited about is the next Tuesday. I'm interviewing this guy named Chris with the Warrior Trail Foundation. I don't know if are you familiar with that at all?
I am.
I
Yeah.
only hear I think Greg Lawson does something with them.
Yeah. But so anyway, just a quick thing on that. He takes people that come back, warriors that come back with PTSD and introduces them to trail running as a form of therapy, basically, and hooks them up with coaches and registrations to get into ultras and helps them to get better through trail running. And it's a really good cause, and that one means a lot because there's a whole lot of people that come back, and I'm sure Joe can tell you for firsthand because I know he's got some connections with the VA, but they try to treat a lot of stuff like that with pills and medicine, where some people, just they don't want that kind of treatment. They want uh, outdoor treatment, some environment, you not have to take a pill and get addicted to something else, and so that means a lot to me.
Cool, cool. Joe, who you guys got on next week? Who you dropping on Monday?
So yeah, what this Monday coming up, it's just going to be the WTF crew doing a recap on Two Prairies and just talking about running. And then we're scheduled an interview to have Hot Chocolate come on. So we're going to be talking real soon.
We did not plan this. I'm telling you, we did not plan this, but that
People's
leads
champ.
into my next thing because I found a controversy on the internet. I don't know if you can read that.
No.
Someone else is claiming to be the people's champ.
Oh, that's crock. There is only one people's champ.
That is hilarious. Hey, we did not plan that, and that was the next thing I was going to talk about right there. The people's champ, man, Hot Chocolate, you're getting ripped off. So, also don't forget you got Aid Station coffee with young Joe Miller. You can find Etsy to pick it up or find out when Joe is going to be at a race and have him hand deliver it. That's what we've been making here the last couple of weeks. I've been grabbing whenever I see him. I've been grabbing some coffee from him. So great coffee. Good stuff. I'm trying to think what else we're missing here. Pacer Travel, if you're planning on going anywhere, and you need help booking your trips, let me know. We'd love to help you out with that. We can do that. I'm just crossing things off. We're gonna click out. I don't have anything else to share there. Also, if you're a race director and you have a race coming up and you want us to talk about it, please reach out to us. We'd love to recap your race or preview your race or anything along that. So I know right now we're pretty much in Florida, but we'd love to kind of spread out a little bit farther out and get to know the rest of the community.
Yeah, because there's a lot that happens even in North Florida that we're not as familiar with.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're trying or in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. And then we're pretty excited. Actually, this is the crew right here. The four of us are heading up to Georgia in is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
2
To
weeks?
Bootlegger. And so we'll be live streaming the race up there.
Testing our skills, seeing if they're any better than they were at any of the other ones.
we're gonna knock it out of the park. My goal is to be able to follow Jeff Browning with a camera for about 2-3 miles. See if I can keep up with it. No, we're gonna have fun with it. If you're in Georgia, in that area, and you'd like to come help us out, we'd love to get some more people out there. We're excited. We got a good crew coming up from Florida. Julian's heading up there. He's in the chat. We got Luke Vidal heading up there. Who else? Loan's going up there. We got a few other people from Florida, so we're gonna.
I got a message. I got a message from Ellie yesterday that she's not going to make it.
That's about. Oh, I wanted to see what she could have done in 100. She would have. That would have been fun to see her do an official 100. But we're excited. So
we're counting on you guys to bring the first place buckle home to Florida. So
yeah. But we're also reaching out. Even if you can't be up there with us, if you want to jump on from home, we'd love to get some help out there. I know we'd love to get Kevin and Shay to jump on at some point from their house to help us with it when we if it's just me on the air or just Marty on the air, you it starts getting dead air. But if we have someone else, they can zoom in from not being there, and we'd love to get. So if you would like to jump on and help us any part of the race, let us know. Reach out to us. So we're
or just view. Just give us some views.
Yeah. So whenever I go to Airbnb and they have YouTube, I always throw one of the live streams on, so I get 12 hours of viewing on the Pacer Travel channel. So when you go to work tomorrow, just throw on one of the 12-hour live streams, help get the views up. So
hey, I have one race next week that I need to plug because I'm going to be there volunteering next weekend. But we can talk about it Thursday night too. But it's early enough now that we can get them a few more registrations.
Yeah.
It is Defusky Island 100. It's off of. It's also a 50-miler too. It's off of Hilton Head. It's an island. Got to take a ferry over there, so you have to spend the night Friday night. Starts on Saturday morning. It has some miles. It's mostly like golf cart paths. There's no cars that really run on that island. And then there are some trails and then some miles on the beach. But the beach is not soft sand or sloped real bad, kind of like Cape Fear is, which is happening this weekend too. We didn't talk about it, but anyway, it's not any soft sand there, not as much. And so it's a good race. It's put on by rough runners over there in the Savannah area. And I'll be volunteering for the whole weekend over there next weekend. So come see me.
Yeah, I would love to see. I can't wait to see the pictures from that because I remember we talked about this almost 6 months ago. That race.
Then I know they would like some more people. So if you're not doing anything this weekend, go run.
And I don't know if you remember Whitney Dutton, who I had on my podcast, real funny lady. She is the defending champ for that race, and she'll be back this year to defend her title. She's a really bright and happy person. She's the one that ran her training runs with one of her teeth blacked out.
Oh, she blacked out her tooth.
so she would have something to talk about with the people she met on the trail. Dumb and Dumber. She dressed up like Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah. So trying to think what else. I know the board is meeting for the SummerSlam, the original SummerSlam series on Monday. So that's Lake Baldwin, Dirty Bear, and PTC. So hopefully
Those are my favorite races. They
hopefully I'll have some
really
more.
are.
So and we're planning
No.
PTC. We're planning on doing a dinner. So you guys know we're hosting a dinner.
I probably won't. I
We're going
won't
to
make.
stream it while running it.
Yeah.
I won't make Lake Baldwin this year, I don't think, but I should still be there for Dirty Bear.
Jeff covers the front. I'll cover the back part of the race.
My daughter modified the aid station, Lego aid station. She just handed it to me.
Oh yeah, I forgot to work on mine. I gotta do that.
So yeah. So Whitney's in the chat. Marty,
What?
Whitney's in the chat.
Is she? Hey,
Yeah.
Whitney.
So she said she's looking forward to seeing you out there next weekend.
All right.
So, all right, good deal. Well, thank you for joining us. We peaked at 17 tonight.
All right. Air
Do
Viper,
for
watch
20
out.
next week.
Yeah.
We're going
Well,
for
we do
20.
during the week. A lot of people will watch it during the week, and so it keeps climbing up every week. So I'm looking.
Very
I
good.
like it. So as long as you guys continue doing it, I'm good with that. So cool deal. So all right, we're gonna stop the live stream. Whitney said she's gonna do the tooth again.
Eyeliner
Yeah.
pencil.
All right. Well,